Okay, a new series of videos for advanced students. These videos are to summarise vocabulary which came up in a TV show I do with my advanced students. The TV show is Sherlock Elementary. This is for episode 1, which was a pilot. And I just wanted to do it to repeat the vocabulary which my advanced learners have already been learning, and to make sure that they don't forget some of these great expressions. This is a very good show for academic English, I suppose, or educated English. They've got some great expressions, a really wide range of vocabulary structures. So let's get on with it. You can be addicted to substances, to things which are unhealthy, and Sherlock is of course addicted to drugs, or was addicted to drugs at the beginning of this series, and so he came from a rehab clinic, which is a rehabilitation clinic. He went there to get sober. Watson is now his sober companion. And if you want to use this as a verb, you can say to sober up. And so just with this first part, you can answer these questions. Should prison rehabilitate or punish offenders, in your opinion? Should prison rehabilitate or punish offenders? Try and use this vocabulary to make it active, to activate the vocabulary. Also, what do you think is the best way of dealing with addictions? Is it perhaps, as Sherlock does, to go to a rehab clinic and then to employ someone to help him sober up? And what do you think is the best way to sober up? Do you have any particular techniques that you use on mornings where you feel perhaps like you have a hangover? How do you sober up? Okay, number 2, you see a lot of crime words, obviously. This is a detective show, so there are lots of crime words. Firstly, you hear this word in every episode, perpetrator. They even shorten it to perp, which is a bit strange to me, but perpetrator or culprit. This is the person who committed the crime. You also hear the word alibi very often. Alibi is a story, a reason, a justification of why you can't have been the culprit, why you can't have committed the crime. And they often speak about a watertight alibi in these shows. Thirdly, the expression to be kidnapped came up because the police first of all suspected that this lady may have been kidnapped. However, there was no ransom demand, which was strange. So remember, the ransom demand is the money that the kidnappers demand in exchange for the person who has been kidnapped. Lastly, to strangle, this means simply to suffocate someone by squeezing their neck or their throat. Okay, so simple word. So answer these questions. Can you think of any famous kidnappings, or maybe any famous stranglers? If you can you even name the perpetrator or the culprit of this, or the culprits of this kidnapping or strangling? And can you remember how much the ransom demand was? Okay, and to practice this word alibi, if you were accused of committing a crime last night, would you have a watertight alibi? Or would you have nothing which you could show the police as proof that you can't have been the culprit? Okay, thirdly, we've got some miscellaneous words. They use the word siblings in this, which I think you see mainly on documents or forms. When you're filling in a form, very often they ask you, do you have any siblings? So, it means brother or sister. Do you have any siblings? And do your siblings tend to throw temper tantrums? In this episode, Sherlock threw a temper tantrum when he crashed into the culprit's car because he couldn't prove that the culprit was responsible. So do your siblings have temper tantrums? Or maybe you have children. Do your children tend to throw temper tantrums? In what situations do they do this? Okay, there were signs of struggle in the bedroom at the scene of the crime, and this led Sherlock to deduce, along with the slope of 5 degrees, if you remember there was a slope in the room as well, he deduced that the victim's body, must have been somewhere close to that room. Now you should remember to dry out. It means to become dry. So if you jump in a swimming pool when you've got money in your pocket, you need to dry the notes out afterwards. And you remember in this show he dried out the mobile phone using rice. Okay, Watson, it's in this episode we found out that Watson's previous job was a sore subject. Something must have happened to her while she was a surgeon, which upset her. And so this topic is a sore subject for Watson. She doesn't like talking about it. What kind of subjects are a sore subject for you? Yeah, what kind of topics do you not like talking about? Okay, the slope of 5 degrees is simply an angle on the floor. So if you're driving in your car and you go up a hill, the slope could be 10 degrees, 15 degrees. It may be a very steep slope. And that's, we'd either say steep or flat even. For if it's not steep. Steep is like this, okay? Very steep slope if you're going skiing or something like that. Okay, and the next one is a good phrasal verb, which is repeated again in this show. To let someone in on a secret. It means to tell someone your secret, to let them in on something which is secret. Okay, so do you tend to tell people your secrets? Do you tend to let them in on your secrets or not? And lastly, the culprit, one of the culprits, was allergic to rice. So do you have any allergies? What are you allergic to? Okay, so I hope that will help you remember some of that vocabulary. Now let's go on to the deductions, which is the grammar. We're going to look at past modals. I've already used a few. Please remember, this is for making deductions. 100% true, 50-50, definitely not true. And this is for criticism. It's very different from must have, should have, very different. So let's have a look. The strangulation marks were bigger than Dr. Mantlow's hands, you may remember. Try and use a past modal and this verb and Dr. Mantlow as the person. Try and make a sentence which is a logical deduction. Dr. Mantlow. Okay, I'm going to put the answers at the bottom of the video in the show more part, and I'll say them in a second. Look at number 2. Dr. Mantlow had a watertight alibi. Try and use this word, culprit, and use one of the past modals and make a deduction. There are obviously several answers, but try and give me a logical deduction. Number 3, Mrs. Mantlow was missing, but there was no ransom demand. Make a deduction using kidnapped. Number 4, there were 2 broken glasses on the floor. Make a deduction using Mrs. Mantlow and no. And I want you to speak about her attacker really here. I want you to speak about the culprit, the perpetrator. Okay, and lastly, Peter had put his phone in some rice. Why? What did he want to do? Yeah, try and use a past modal. You could even use a continuous past modal. I'll speak about that in a moment. Okay, on to criticism. I want you to criticise Sherlock 3 times using should have or shouldn't have here. So Sherlock crashed into Dr. Mantlow's car. Try and use this expression. Sherlock upset Watson when he spoke about her former profession. Okay, try and use this expression, a sore subject. And lastly, Sherlock was at the rehab clinic for 6 months. Quite an easy one for number 3. Now I'm going to give you my answers to these questions, what sounds logical to me. So, the strangulation marks were bigger than Dr. Mantlow's hands. This means Dr. Mantlow can't have strangled his wife, okay, or the victim. Okay, number 2, Dr. Mantlow had a watertight alibi. Yeah, again, Dr. Mantlow can't have been the culprit. He can't have been the perpetrator. Okay, number 3, Mrs. Mantlow was missing, but there was no ransom demand. I would say she can't have been kidnapped. Okay, number 4, there were 2 broken glasses on the floor. So this means that Mrs. Mantlow must have known her attacker and she must have invited him into her house for a drink. Okay, number 5, Peter had put his phone in some rice. He must have wanted to dry it out, but you could use a continuous past modal here. He must have been drying it out. Because it was still in the rice when the guys found it, when Sherlock and Watson found it, they could say he must have been drying it out. So remember that there is another continuous form, must have been plus a verb in with ing on the end. Number 1, for criticisms now. Sherlock crashed into Dr. Mantlow's car. He shouldn't have thrown a temper tantrum. Sherlock upset Watson when he spoke about her former profession. He shouldn't have mentioned this because it was a sore subject. Yeah, he shouldn't have talked about the sore subject. Sherlock was at the rehab clinic for 6 months. He shouldn't have got addicted to drugs or to heroin. Okay, thanks for watching this episode. I hope that helped my students to remember some of this advanced vocabulary. I'll keep doing this for different episodes so that we have lots of material for improving our vocabulary. And I mean our because, you know, this kind of vocabulary is hard, it's advanced, and there are lots of expressions which I don't usually use, but they sound very nice, and so I would like to enrich my vocabulary too. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of this vocab or grammar, please put them under the video, and I hope to see you all soon.